Plans to build a low-barrier shelter in Augusta are up in the air now after decisions were made by both the planning board and the city council.
Well, some city councilors see the delay as a smart thing to do. The organization overseeing the shelter says it's going to end up hurting the city's homeless population even more. Here's News Center Maine's Pearl Small.
It could essentially kill the whole project.
Betty St. Hilaire and her team at the United Community Living Center bought this building on Chestnut Street in Augusta with a plan to turn it into a low-barrier homeless shelter. But those plans are on hold because the city's planning board has tabled a vote on it.
Some of them are somewhat vague,
saying the group's application is incomplete and board members still have questions. But St. Hilaire says even when they provide the answers at the next meeting in January, a moratorium the city council is considering could delay the project even further.
So we could potentially be tied up for a year paying for a building that we're not able to use.
The moratorium is being proposed because the city currently has no standard of operating guidelines for shelters. But St. Hilaire says the city should have taken care of that earlier because it's been 9 months since the Augusta Task Force on Homelessness recommended that the city build a low-barrier shelter.
Instead of waiting until we had a project in the works on the table that we have already spent hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars on that we won't get back.
Councilor Kevin Judkins, who introduced the moratorium proposal, says he does wish they'd done it earlier, but it doesn't change the fact that he's not comfortable with a new shelter before setting proper health and safety standards.
But I'm not willing to take just good faith when it comes to the safety and security of my constituents.
Judkins also brought up that the city has other shelter options right now, including Bread of Life for veterans and families and an overnight warming center.
Augusta is not in a crisis right now.
Specifically because this new shelter would be low barrier, Judkins wants to make sure they take more time with it.
It was going to go in a neighborhood that was full of families.
Right now, Hilaire says there are about 40 people staying at the overnight warming center, which has a capacity of 50. She says there are plenty more people still out there on the streets.
They're in the area anyways. They're going to continue to be in the area. This would just give them a place to be overnight where they can rest and where they can sleep and where they can have the safety and security to try to rebuild their lives and move forward.
But without the low barrier shelter, St. Hilaire says it won't be long until those people and the city as a whole will run into an even bigger problem. In Augusta, Pearl Small, News Center, Maine.
While the emergency vote to place the moratorium did not pass, there will be a second vote at some point.
The council, by the way, is holding an informational meeting tonight. It starts at 6:30.